Be ready. Most people are about to walk into this Friday the 13th like it's just another square on the calendar. Another day to rush through, complain about, scroll past, and forget. But this one carries a signal. Not loud, not dramatic, not the kind that knocks things over or forces chaos into your life. It's quieter than that. And that's exactly why so many people miss it. This Friday the 13th, the moon reveals hidden spiritual warning signs. Not warnings about danger, not warnings about loss, but warnings about exposure, about timing, about what you speak, what you reveal, and what you protect. For centuries, Friday the 13th has been wrapped in superstition. People joke about bad luck. They expect mishaps. They brace for inconvenience. But here's what most people never realize. The day isn't powerful because something bad happened long ago. It's powerful because millions of minds are focused on it at the same time. Collective attention is energy. Collective belief is momentum. And when a date carries emotional weight, that weight amplifies everything happening beneath the surface. Now, bring the moon into this. The moon doesn't create events. It reflects internal states. It governs what is forming quietly. It rules cycles, emotions, gestation, intuition. The moon is never about loud beginnings. It's about subtle shifts. And when Friday the 13th aligns with heightened collective focus, the moon acts like a mirror turned inward. This is where the warning begins. Not everything that is forming in your life right now is ready to be seen. There is something growing, a decision you're considering, a direction you're shifting toward, a relationship dynamic changing, a boundary strengthening, a version of you quietly emerging. And it is still fragile. Not weak, fragile. There's a difference. Weak things collapse. Fragile things are becoming strong. And the moon's first warning sign is this. If you feel the urge to announce something prematurely, pause. Because when something is new, it behaves like lunar light. It doesn't shine at full intensity. It phases in. It gathers. It stabilizes. If you expose it too early, you invite interpretation before it has defined itself. You invite opinions before it has roots. This Friday the 13th amplifies reaction. People are more emotionally alert, more suggestible, more aware of symbolic meaning. That means whatever you reveal will not land neutrally. It will land inside a charged atmosphere. The hidden spiritual warning sign is not about fear. It's about interference. If you suddenly feel protective over your plans, that's not paranoia, that's intuition. If you feel quieter than usual, that's not withdrawal, that's alignment. If you feel like observing more than speaking, that's not weakness, that's awareness. The moon is revealing that silence right now is strength. There's a reason ancient symbolism treated 12 as completion. 12 months, 12 zodiac signs, 12 stages of a cycle. But 13 is the step beyond completion. It's the threshold between what was stable and what is becoming new. And the moment after completion is always unstable for a short time. Not because it's cursed, but because it's undefined. Friday the 13th is not unlucky. It's transitional, and transitions require containment. Here's the second hidden warning sign. Doubt spreads faster when spoken aloud. On a day already surrounded by superstition, uncertainty multiplies quickly. If you voice your fears casually, someone will mirror them. If you say you feel off, someone will agree. And the moment your uncertainty is validated externally, it feels more real internally. This is not mystical punishment. This is psychology. Humans co-regulate. We stabilize or destabilize each other emotionally. On a day where collective attention is already heightened, emotional signals echo louder. So if you feel doubt tomorrow, don't suppress it. Just don't amplify it. Hold it long enough to understand it privately. Because when you give doubt a microphone, it recruits agreement, and agreement turns a passing thought into a perceived reality. The moon's warning is simple. Protect your internal narrative. Most people don't experience bad luck on Friday the 13th. They experience scattered focus. They wake up expecting something strange. Their nervous system tightens. They overthink small details. They second-guess decisions. That tension subtly increases the chance of mistakes, and then they call it a sign. Expectation shapes perception. The moon reflects what you carry into the day. If you step into Friday the 13th expecting disruption, you will notice every inconvenience. If you step into it expecting clarity, you will notice every alignment. The warning isn't about what will happen, it's about what you are reinforcing. There's also something deeper happening here. This day reveals who is emotionally self-contained and who is externally reactive. If you can sit with your intention without broadcasting it, you rise.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe for daily cosmic insights, astrology updates, and spiritual guidance, because the universe always has a message for you.
If you can feel uncertainty without seeking immediate reassurance, you strengthen. If you can sense the emotional tone of the day without absorbing it, you stabilize. Friday the 13th acts like a filter. It magnifies what is already present within you. The moon's hidden sign is asking one question: can you hold your energy steady when the collective is noisy? Because there will be noise. Jokes about bad luck, subtle unease, overinterpretation of normal events, conversations charged with symbolic meaning. But the spiritually aware person doesn't react to the noise. They move through it intentionally. There's a version of you slightly ahead in time, a version who has already navigated this transition. And if that future version could send a message back to you right now, it would be this: not everything needs witnesses yet. Some growth must remain unseen until it can stand without support. Some plans need to mature without commentary. Some decisions need silence to crystallize. Privacy right now is not hiding. It's protecting. And protection is not fear. It's wisdom. This Friday the 13th, the moon is not warning you about loss. It's warning you about leakage. Energy leakage. Focus leakage. Intention leakage. When you speak too soon, you disperse your momentum. When you doubt too loudly, you dilute your confidence. When you react impulsively, you surrender positioning. But when you move quietly, something shifts in your favor. You become steady while others wobble. You become clear while others speculate. You become intentional while others react. That is the real advantage of this day. Most people misunderstand symbolic energy because they look for dramatic outcomes. But spiritual warning signs are rarely dramatic. They are subtle nudges, gentle instincts, small hesitations that say, "Wait," or quiet urges that say, "Not yet." If you feel that hesitation tomorrow before sending a message, announcing a plan, confronting someone, or revealing something personal, listen to it. That's the moon revealing the boundary. It's not telling you to be afraid. It's telling you to be precise. And precision changes everything. When you stop seeing Friday the 13th as a threat and start seeing it as a checkpoint, the entire energy of the day transforms. It becomes a pause for consolidation, a moment to gather your energy inward, a space to let your next chapter take shape without external distortion. Nothing is wrong just because things feel different. Difference is often formation. Stillness is often incubation. Silence is often strengthening. The moon doesn't warn loudly. It warns through instinct, through subtle awareness, through the quiet realization that timing matters. And if you honor that timing, something powerful happens. You move into the next phase of your life with fewer complications, fewer unnecessary influences, fewer distortions. This Friday the 13th is not about superstition. It's about sovereignty. It's about recognizing that your internal state shapes your external experience. It's about choosing not to participate in collective fear. It's about understanding that what is forming in your life deserves protection before exposure. So when the day begins, don't brace for bad luck. Don't look for signs of misfortune. Don't lean into the noise. Lean inward. Guard what is new. Contain what is fragile. Stabilize what is shifting. Because the moon is not warning you about something going wrong, it's reminding you that something is going right, and it needs just a little more quiet before it reveals itself to the world. If you felt that, you already understand, and that understanding is the real sign. And now, something shifts even deeper. Because once you understand that this Friday the 13th is about protection and positioning, another layer of the warning begins to reveal itself. The moon does not only reflect your emotions, it exposes where your energy is being pulled without your awareness. Pay attention tomorrow to what tries to distract you. Notice what suddenly feels urgent but unnecessary. Notice which conversations attempt to hook you into drama. Notice where you feel subtly pressured to respond, to explain, to justify. These are not coincidences. When collective attention intensifies around a symbolic day, emotional currents become stronger. People project more. They test boundaries unconsciously. They seek validation for their own unease. This is where the third hidden spiritual warning sign appears. Do not allow yourself to be emotionally recruited. You may find that someone wants reassurance from you. Someone wants your reaction. Someone wants to pull you into their interpretation of the day. They may not even realize they're doing it. But if you are grounded, you will feel the tug. And this is the moment that defines your positioning. If you react impulsively, you merge with the emotional noise. If you stay steady, you remain sovereign. There is power in being the calm presence in a room where others feel unsettled. There is influence in being the one who does not overinterpret every minor inconvenience. And on a day like Friday the 13th, that composure becomes magnetic. The moon amplifies emotional intelligence tomorrow. If you are already someone who observes before reacting, who listens before speaking, who senses before deciding, you will feel stronger than usual, clearer, sharper, more aware of subtle shifts in tone and behavior. But if you are someone who moves quickly to respond, to defend, to prove, this day may feel slightly destabilizing. Not because something is wrong, but because you are being shown where your reactions still control you. This is not punishment, it is revelation. And revelation is uncomfortable only when we resist it. Part of the spiritual warning hidden in this day is about restraint, not suppression, not silence out of fear, but restraint born from awareness. You do not need to answer everything immediately. You do not need to clarify your intentions to everyone who questions them. You do not need to defend decisions that are still forming. There is strength in letting things breathe. The moon governs cycles, and cycles require patience. When something is in its early phase, pushing it forward too aggressively disrupts its rhythm. The same way forcing a seed to sprout faster damages its roots. Forcing your plans into visibility too soon weakens their foundation. This Friday the 13th asks you to slow down your outward movement and strengthen your inward alignment. And here's something even more subtle. There are people in your life who are unconsciously sensitive to change. When they feel you shifting, even if you haven't announced anything, they sense it. And sometimes that triggers their own insecurity. They may question you more, observe you more closely, or act slightly differently. This is not always intentional sabotage. Often it is simply discomfort with change. The moon reveals this dynamic. If you notice unusual reactions from others, do not interpret them as signs to retreat. Interpret them as confirmation that something within you is evolving, and evolution always disturbs equilibrium before it stabilizes into a new normal. This leads into another layer of the warning. Be careful what you interpret as resistance. Not every obstacle is a sign to stop. Not every delay is misfortune. On symbolic days like this, meaning feels amplified. People assign significance to normal events. A canceled plan feels like a warning. A delayed message feels like rejection. A small disagreement feels like a red flag. But the moon's lesson here is discernment. Ask yourself, is this truly significant, or am I adding weight to it because of the date? The mind loves patterns. It loves symbolism. And when a day already carries a reputation, your perception becomes more sensitive. This sensitivity can be a gift or a distortion. If you use it consciously, you gain insight. If you let it run unconsciously, you create anxiety. The hidden spiritual warning is not, something bad will happen. It is, do not misinterpret what unfolds. There is a difference between intuition and projection. Intuition feels calm, even when it is firm. Projection feels urgent, even when it is uncertain. Tomorrow, if something feels loud inside your mind, pause. Let it settle. If it is real intuition, it will remain steady. If it is projection fueled by collective symbolism, it will fade. This day reveals the quality of your inner voice. And now, we move even deeper. There is a reason Friday is symbolically tied to relationships and harmony in many traditions. And when paired with the number 13, which represents transition, there can be subtle shifts in relational dynamics. You may notice heightened sensitivity in communication. Words may feel heavier. Tone may feel sharper. Emotions may surface more quickly. This is not conflict energy. It is clarity energy. The moon reflects what has been unspoken. If there are unaddressed tensions, they may quietly rise. If there are hidden feelings, they may seek acknowledgement. But again, the warning is not to explode or confess impulsively. It is to observe. Sometimes clarity does not require immediate action. Sometimes awareness alone begins the healing. You do not have to resolve everything tomorrow. You only need to see clearly. And when you see clearly, your next move becomes obvious without force. There is also a profound spiritual principle embedded in this day: consolidation. Before every expansion, there is a gathering inward. Before every visible breakthrough, there is a silent strengthening. Friday the 13th feels intense to many because it compresses awareness. It pulls attention inward. It slows momentum just enough for you to reassess. That feeling of stillness is not stagnation. It is calibration. You are being recalibrated before stepping into your next cycle. And here's the truth most people never consider. What if Friday the 13th is not a day of misfortune, but a day of filtering? A filter removes what is unstable. A filter clarifies what is aligned. A filter exposes what does not belong in your next chapter. If something falls away tomorrow, do not panic. If something feels distant, do not chase. If something pauses, do not force. The moon is revealing what can withstand silence and what requires constant validation to survive. And only what can withstand silence is strong enough to last. As we move into the final layer of this message, understand this clearly. The hidden spiritual warning signs are not external omens. They are internal sensations. The urge to overshare, the impulse to react, the temptation to interpret every inconvenience as fate, the need for reassurance, the desire to explain yourself prematurely. Each of these is a doorway. You either walk through it unconsciously, or you pause and choose differently. When you choose differently, something shifts in your favor. You stop leaking energy. You stop participating in collective anxiety. You stop giving power to superstition. and you begin operating from sovereignty. Friday the 13th is not testing your luck. It is testing your containment. Can you hold your vision quietly? Can you stabilize your doubt privately? Can you remain composed while others overreact? If you can, the day bends differently for you. Because when collective emotion rises, the most stable person becomes the anchor. And anchors do not drift. They hold position. So when this Friday the 13th arrives, do not brace yourself. Center yourself. Do not search for warnings in the external world. Listen for guidance in your internal one. Guard what is forming. Contain what is fragile. Clarify what is shifting. And trust that silence now is strength later. If you feel calmer after hearing this, that is the confirmation. If you feel less reactive, that is alignment. If you feel like holding certain things closer to your chest, that is wisdom. The moon is not trying to scare you. It is reminding you that timing matters. And when you respect timing, everything unfolds with far less resistance. This is not a day of fear. It is a day of formation. Move accordingly.